And I think funny is really what got you through. You know, from what I know about you, is you started using humor, or what you might
Humor,
call charm.
humor, charm. Yeah, you know, it's true, and it always got me by. And humor to me is, well, for one thing, it's an instant reframer. You can take anything and in a second reframe it. And, you know, people spend a year in therapy trying to do that. So humor helps a lot. And it's the most subversive of the arts, too. So it can pull paradigms down real fast. You
Uh-huh.
know, not so good at building them, but it can pull them down.
And so what kind of humor do you use about, shall we say, deflecting what people might think about you? Give us some of your stuff.
Well, here's what I do at the beginning of my show. I say, oh, I'm shy, and which I usually am, enough to carry this off with 80% sincerity. Um, you know, I need some encouragement. I want everybody here to say, what happened to your face? Ready? 1, 2, 3. And everybody says it because that's what's right on the tip of their tongue, you know. And so I said, thanks. I thought you'd never ask. And so then I can explain it to them. And I've already won people over
Right, just
because
get that over with.
I've acknowledged their question, and it's very real to them, and so it can go on from there. Or I tell, you know, I tell the kids, they like physical stuff, about belonging to a gang, so that I'm not worried about people messing with me, and my gang is all the facially disfigured guys in show business, like Freddy Krueger and the Beast and the Phantom of the Opera and Igor and the Frankenstein monster and Michael Jackson, and be like, oh, they all love that. And that we hang out in the bushes at night and we play tag and I lurch around, and how Frankenstein teases me and Igor and Quasimodo because we're the little guys, and you know, and they get into it.
So that works for you.
Yeah, that works with 11, 12, 13-year-olds.
Well, I've had the pleasure of working with you, gosh, I think maybe 15 years ago, something like that, helping you promote at that time. And I remember, and I just want to talk about this because I think it's really interesting. I remember when we were creating a story, we'll call it, and you were just with Marlena, your wife, and we created a story called Beauty, which she is, and the Beast. And I thought, God, you know, I don't know if I can tell him this. And you were so gracious and so wonderful. And as you remember, we got on some pretty big stuff, meaning major shows with that story about Beauty and the Beast, what it was like to kiss you for the first time for her.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was such a powerful story, such a profound story for those watching. And I think it would be interesting for our viewers right now to hear, you know, that you're with a beautiful woman who's inside and out, and yeah, and I think if you can share a little bit what that was like maybe for her, and her process of, and your process of being with her.
Well, she loves to tell kids this story too. When we first met, she heard my voice before she saw my face. So we were both volunteering to do massage therapy in a hospital, and we took a training at Marin General. And Marlena came late, as I realize now was pretty much the way it always is, but she hadn't met any of the other students, and she found herself on one side of a 2-bed hospital room with a curtain down the middle. We were like replicating a hospital environment, and she was getting a foot massage. She had met only her partner, Karen. She heard me on the other side of the curtain, and I was being my very best self. I was being charming and funny and nurturing, and I sounded to her like I was about 6 feet tall, which I'm not, and that I had like olive skin and dark curly hair, and that I was really buff, and then I had on tight jeans and cowboy boots. And
Good
that's
fantasy.
Good fantasy, yeah. That was what, and so, but when she drew back the curtain to meet me, she was shocked by what she saw, and she couldn't deal with it. and she just walked away. So that was my introduction to my wife. But during the rest of the day, she had a crush on me. You know, she had this attraction from her heart and from what she heard that was a disparity with what she saw. But she checked me out, and at the end of the day, she came back to me and apologized and said she wanted to be my partner for the last exercise. So that was the basis for love at second sight.
Oh.
She followed her heart, which she is very good at.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is. But, you know, it's interesting that she could get through that, right? And to, number one, apologize. Number two, to look way beyond the physical appearance into the man and the very being that you are. That's an amazing gift, really.
And you know what I found, though, Jill, that with Marlena's help and the help of a lot of other people, I found that a lot of people are able to do that if I'm open to it, that if I do my part. I've learned...
What's your part?
Well, my part is to know that the first 10 minutes that someone sees me is not prejudice or hatred, it's just getting used to me. So that's free time.
That's free time.
Yeah, that's free play.
Doesn't count.
Free play, yeah, it doesn't count. It's like what happens after that first look that counts.
And you call that love at second sight?
Well, you know, I call it looking for something deeper and better. And, you know, that's just a good habit for anybody to get into, you know. And so for me to realize, after living a lot of my life in that first 10 minutes, because you know what people who look different have to deal with is that, you know, or that look, and all of a sudden they're looking up to see if any comets are coming, or they're looking down for a spirit change or something. They just have to get used to me. And I've learned, too, that everybody feels disfigured. Everybody feels that there's something wrong with them, something unacceptable on the outside or on the inside. So that my story, I say my face is unique, but my experiences are universal. And they are. So those are kind of things that have really helped me.
What do you mean your experiences are universal?
In that other people have the feeling that there is something wrong with them.
Yes.
The first time I gave a talk about facial difference, this really lovely woman came up to me and said, "David, thank you, you're so courageous," and it was terrible for me in school too, and I'm still really ashamed of my freckles. And I was like, what?
Your freckles?
Freckles? Right. Oh, the heartbreak of freckles. I'm so sorry. And I just wanted to like slap her freckles right off her, but I didn't. And you know, that was sort of like the beginning of realizing that everybody has something that they feel bad about.
So do you think it's made you far more sensitive?
Absolutely. And I had to learn to accept myself first. And I say my face is a gift, you know, because I've been forced to find my inner beauty. But there's a second part to it, too, in the way that it's a gift, is that because I've learned to accept myself, it's opened a window for me to see the beauty of other people. First of all, to not be afraid, and then to see the beauty. And that helps your life tremendously, you know? And that's, you know, why the whole thing of, you know, self-esteem is sort of like becomes a buzzword and stuff like that. But it is having a sense of yourself. Doesn't have to be grandiose. It's having your place in the world, all kinds of ways of talking about it.
Oh, and it's incredible. I mean, really, it gave you your life in many ways, what you speak about, what you motivate others by, right? So, and then I know you've been doing a lot more around comedy and really having fun, and by making fun in a certain way, hence 80% sincerity, which I've always found highly amusing. So, you know, tell me, how do you continue to use that laughter throughout your days and with others, to inspire others?
You know, it just flows, and it works in circumstances that are very diverse. You know, like, let's see, in the last couple of weeks, I was in New Orleans to speak to cleft palate, a family day for the cleft palate group of Children's Hospital of New Orleans. That was really great. I spoke to the American Association for Dental Research.
Right, because you've had a lot of issues in your mouth, right?
Yeah, issues in my mouth, yeah. And I've spoken to a couple of schools, and I spoke to a class in Berkeley, an English class that were studying biographies, autobiographies of people with disabilities. So I get spread pretty far and wide.
Yeah. Do you feel like that you're giving hope to others? I mean, what would be what you want to accomplish from what you're doing?
Giving hope to others, messages of hope, of course, that's what I am, you know. It really works. I didn't like being inspiring for a long time, even to the extent of people telling me that I had changed their life, and I would think, oh, that's pathetic. I am embarrassed to say that. It's not a thing I'm proud of, but I didn't respect what I was hearing, and I didn't respect myself either. So I've come a long way from that, and I realized, well, I am facially disfigured in this lifetime, and I have certain gifts of a stage presence. I'm a good writer. I have a sense of humor, and and I'm inspiring, and so that's who I am, you know. And so now I get to travel, get my airfare paid for, my hotel, and I tell people the same old stories, and I get a standing ovation, and I get paid. So what's not to like?
That's a good life, right?
Yeah, it's a good life. And I'm married to Marlena, who is astounding.
Oh.
And here I am with you. You know, and it's just great to think of the times that we've had together 15, 16 years ago, just starting out. I'm a middle-aged, disfigured guy, and I had people like you, and with your great skills and talents to encourage and to help me and to teach me.
Well, and I've always seen you as inspiring, as giving true gifts to others through who you are naturally. And your great humor has always kept me laughing, and I'm sure will keep others laughing too. And David, if people want to get in touch with you, how should they do that?
Thanks for asking. Probably the easiest way is just at my website. It's the same as my name, David Roche, DavidRoche.com. And Googling me is pretty easy. There's going to be lots of hits, but the website is a place to go, and you can email me through the website.
Wonderful, and thank you. And my website, too, is for messages of hope for this show and others, is jilllublin.com/messages of hope. So, David, we have just a few more moments left, and I would love to hear from you, your messages of hope. What would you say? How would you inspire people?
Well, I would say that my face is a gift for you, that says that you're fine the way you are. And if you ever lose faith in yourself, I'm lucky enough, because of my face, to have built up enough faith in myself that I have extra. And you can have some, and I'd be happy to let you have it.
Oh, that's beautiful. And thank you for watching tonight on Messages of Hope. We're glad you're here. And come back again. Thank you, David, for sharing everything you have tonight.
Thank you, Jill.